Hey, hello, fellow people. I imagine I'm talking to people, right? Well, wait a minute. I might be talking to a dog, too. Here he is, the one and only Harvey dog. He's shaking for some reason. I don't know if he's afraid. Hang on just a second. We're going to put the window up, or if he's cold. Because it is cold today, folks. Yes. It's southeastern Pennsylvania. It's below freezing today. And that's a kind of a relief because it's February 25th, 2023. Harvey is just freaked out by being in the car. I don't know if you can see him shaking or not. Maybe that stopped the shaking. I don't know. Oh, he smells. And he hardly ever goes outside. Oh, boy, something's going on with this dog. I have to maybe have you trained in hygiene. Didn't anybody train you in hygiene? Like, I've only owned him. Actually, he's been with me for like exactly a year now. And he was a former, I can't come up with a good way to refer to this person. A former acquaintance. There you go. That's the best I can do. And she left me this dog in her will. So now he's with me. And she got him when he was born in 2008. And here it is, 2023, which makes him, he'll be 15 this coming July. 15 years old. In people years, that's over 90. But I tell you what, this guy can run, and he's a joy. But you know, the funny thing is, he used to be able to jump up on curbs and jump like a comfortable distance because Jack Russell Terriers / Chihuahua, he's part Jack Russell, part Chihuahua. They love to jump. They're just really good at it. They love to run. Jack Russells, if you ever see one of those things just decide to run, they can run, and they can run for a long time too. You know, like if they're on a course or something like that, they can run and run and run and run, and he's no different. But anyway, so his name is Harvey. You want to say hi to everybody? Hey, hey. Is your name Harvey? Huh? There he is. You can see the white, you know. This used to be darker around his eyes and stuff like that, and now it's turning white. Being inside a car just scares the living daylights out of him, though. I mean, you can't tell, I don't think, but he's just shaking. And I know he's not cold. The heat's been on, and I know he's warm enough. But anyway, so February 25th, 2023, a year ago tomorrow, it was like I found some information on this quote-unquote acquaintance that just snapped me into like a very harsh reality, you know. And it's like, I just, you know, I guess when you get to be in my age bracket, you kind of expect to be shocked and stuff, but I did not expect this. But anyway, so, okay, he wants to see what's going on outside, so let me drop this window again just to see if that will placate him and keep him from shaking and shivering. And I tell him, oh God, this dog, he's got bad hygiene for a little dog, and he hardly ever gets outside. Like, you know, he doesn't spend any long periods of time outside. But when he does go out, he starts immediately looking. He's got poop dar. You know, he can find a pile of poop a mile away or miles away. But anything that's closer than that, he's going to find too. And boy, does he. So anyway, he wants to see what's going on out here. He wants to be looking outside for a change. I mean, usually he's in a car, and all he is just terrified. And, you know, the funny thing about him being frightened and scared and shivering and running and looking for a place to hide, you flip a switch in him, like with another cat or a dog, and he can instantly turn into this crazy, wild, snarling, I hesitate to use the word vicious, but he just freaks out, you know, like he just goes into a different mode of existence. And he's doing that kind of like now because he's just not really comfortable being in the car. Whereas his sister, who died a little more than a year ago, she was killed by the insecticide they sprayed in our home. She was totally comfortable in the car. You know, most dogs are, but not this guy. So I'm trying to distract him, have him look outside and say, hey, there might be a groundhog or a squirrel or something. And if he sees one of those, all bets are off. He'll just take off after him. So anyway, the wind is out of the east today. So we are looking west. This is looking west over the dog's head. And since the wind is from the east, there'll be, if there is a plane landing, it'll be coming from the west towards the east, since the wind is coming from the east. And we could get a really good look at some hot airplane. Actually, it's funny that things like airplanes and especially ships are always referred to in the female gender. Always, because I tell you what, there's an amorous kind of feeling that I have towards airplanes. It's hard to describe, and I have no amorous feelings towards men, although there have been some men that I've loved, not in a physical or sensual way, but in a in a feeling, kind of psychological and love. You can love either gender. Anyway, so I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. It never ends well. Anyway, so I don't know if you can see him shaking. Can you? Now I'm going to open his cage. Now see, now he wants to crawl under the seat. So I'm going to put him back in his cage. Crate. His former owner used to like to call these crates, but he feels much better in there. Are you happy in there? Do you feel safer in there? See, he's not shaking anymore. And he did a little shake there, but that was like that dog shake that all dogs do. He's got that one down. 15 in July, man. That's closing on 100. What's 7 times 15? 7 times 5, 35. Carry my 3. That's 105 years old. If 7 years is a doggy year. Wow, that'd be cool, man. I can't imagine being 105. Well, I can. And so I want to talk briefly today about, guess what? Tesla and Elon Musk. Surprise, surprise. It's like this guy I follow on YouTube, Randy Kirk. I really like the guy. He's just, you can't help but like him. He's just one of these guys, and he's been very successful businessman his whole life, but he's so personable when he does his YouTube videos. It's like he's talking right to you. And I'll tell you what, he's got the lowdown on Tesla, I think, better than just about anybody. Well, there's Electrified, Dylan Loomis, and there's Solve the Money Problem with this guy's name. Shoot. The hell's that guy's name on Solve the Money Problem? I hate that when I can't, because I watch that guy a lot too. He's got a filthy, dirty sense of humor that I love. I love his sense of humor because it's so not dirty, raunchy, I'd say. Very, very raunchy. Solve the Money Problem. Damn it, who is that guy? Oh, it drives me crazy. The name of the channel on YouTube is Solve the Money Problem. So that, Electrified. Of course, I love George and Cryptos Are Us. So crypto, actually Bitcoin and Tesla are my 2 largest holdings. Except for Dirty Minds. What else could I be holding? Now, Steve Mark Ryan, that's his name. He'd come up with something good there, I'm sure. Don't ever stop, Steve. I hope you do this for the rest of your life in one way or another. But anyway, back to Randy Kirk. I highly recommend his channel. If you have any curiosity, and I think he is approachable. At this time, he is. I think the more that people discover him, the more he catches on. I'm sorry that I'm looking from side to side, but we could catch a really cool airplane on final approach here. It'll come right over us when the wind is from the east. I'm going to go off on another topic, but just so you understand what I'm saying, there's one runway here, and it's even though there's one runway, you'd refer to it, depending on which way you're landing on the runway, you'd refer to it as either runway 29 or 290. Is that right? Yes. 2728. Yeah, 290 or runway 11. And those are just opposite points on the compass. 11 is on the compass is 011 degrees, just past. It's between north and east, obviously. Maybe not obvious to everybody, but to me it is. But it's one runway, and depending on which way you're landing on that one runway, it could be runway 29 or runway 11, which are just opposite points on the compass. And every runway has that kind of designation. The numbers on the runway indicate the exact point on the compass, the direction that you're landing or taking off. Anyway, so back to Randy Kirk. Kudos to you, Randy, and I enjoy. Oh my God, I'm over 10 minutes already. I'm so sorry, my videos take too long. But I wanted to show you Harvey, an example of a dog that is not comfortable in a car. And it looks like we're not going to pick up anybody landing this morning. It's too bad. It's in the morning. It's about 9 o'clock, 9:30 in the morning, February 25th, 2023. The thing I wanted to talk about with Tesla is the Optimus robot. I think it's probably going to be a really well, Elon Musk is too smart to let something really hurt or damage his company. So I think if he's in pursuit of something, he does it with a keen eye on the bottom line. I get that impression from him. And of course, this and the Robotaxi, which those two things, Optimus and Robotaxi. Well, Robotaxi incorporates the full self-driving software, autonomous software, and I believe the Optimus robot will too. As a matter of fact, a lot of the products that Tesla will be putting out involves artificial intelligence. Full self-driving is the ultimate expression of artificial intelligence. And when that comes out and the Robotaxi network becomes available, and I can go anywhere on a moment's notice for 25 cents a mile, and I don't have to own the car, and I don't have to pay insurance on the car, and I don't have to pay maintenance on the car, and I don't have to pay for inspection on the car, or repairs to the engine, to the coolant system, to the hydraulic system. Teslas will still have hydraulic systems, but hardly ever used on their brakes. And the brakes, you will never have to get a brake job. I just paid $1,300 to have the emergency brake fixed on my car. And it had to be fixed. You know, people immediately say, oh, they ripped you off. They didn't really rip me off. I mean, it has 180,000 miles on it. And the emergency brake, how that wears down, I still don't get it. Because the car's not moving when I use the emergency brake. But they said when they pulled the wheels off the back of the car, they said, it's all jumbled up and fouled up, and the emergency brake shoes have to be replaced. All the hardware, all the springs and the pins, that all has to be replaced. And I'm like, okay, how much is it? What? $1,300? Not on a Tesla. Never. As a matter of fact, any cars I think after 2012 or 13, the emergency brakes are applied with a button, and there is no separate system for the emergency brakes. It's the regular brake system, but the car automatically applies the brakes to all four wheels. It's really cool, man. It's cool. Yeah, cool. Why didn't they do this 40 years ago? Because they didn't have to. They didn't care. There I go again, down that cynical rabbit hole. Anyway, so the Optimus robot is mankind's first major step towards immortality, in a sense. It's immortality, still living in this world. So I think our lifespan, when the body that we have is worn out, and mine just about is, although everything still works, I can just feel things going wrong. When things start going wrong like they are now, or when you're born and there's all this crap that's wrong with you when you're born, I think it's no more than 100 years off. In that range, plus or minus 50 years, 50 to, actually, or it could be 50 years more, not minus. I think a minimum of 100 years. We're going to be able to transfer our consciousness into one of these robots. So, excuse me, God. See what I mean about getting old? there's not a whole lot of good things I can say about being in your 70s except you made it that far. That's about it. Um, so, I mean, he's working on this Optimus robot, and it's got all kinds of potential and everything else. And with artificial intelligence, just at its infancy, it's a nascent kind of brand new kind of thing, artificial intelligence. And Tesla is by far, it's not even close, they're by far the leader. They've been working on this full self-driving now for just about a decade. Yeah, about a decade. 2013. Nobody else even bothered with it. You know why? Because they didn't care. They don't care. Full self-driving, spending all that money to develop that software. Why? Well, Elon Musk is showing you why right now. Because there's a good chance he's going to disrupt the car industry so much, it's going to blow people's minds. So, Optimus Robot, the real opportunity, as far as me as an individual is concerned, is that, okay, I'm going to die. Doctors tell me, maybe I haven't been informed that I've got, the only terminal illness I have is called AGE, age. That's terminal, and everybody has it. Thank you, Randy. But hey, at 71, your time's limited. Your time's limited no matter what age you are. But it's more imminent now, it seems, So you get to be my age, and when enough things are going wrong, I think we're going to have the option, I think mankind will have the option to transfer your consciousness into a robot. Now, what's the good thing about it? What's the good in the bad? There's always, good and bad of stuff like that. The good thing is that you're still alive. You're still in this world. You're still a part of everything around you and everything you see and hear and touch and feel. Would you be able to feel anything? I don't know. We got to talk to Lieutenant Commander Data to find out the answer to that question. Anyway, so the Optimus, that'd be amazing, but that's way down the road. I think 100 to 150 years, I'd say. 100 years. I think that they should be able to. I mean, 100 years ago now, we hadn't been able to fly across the Atlantic Ocean yet. We were barely just off the ground with powered flight, and pilots were getting killed left and right flying those stick and wooden component kites with unreliable engines 100 years ago, 1923. I don't even think they had monoplanes yet. They were all biplanes. Anyway, so from there to the moon in 1969, where we could barely get off the ground to, we're playing golf on the moon. But the Robotaxi thing, man. I mean, this has been a good car. It's a Toyota Solara. It's a two-door Camry, a 2005. Very good car. But this thing's just going to go wrong. Like the emergency brake, $1,300. The Robotaxi, 25 cents a mile, they're figuring it's going to cost. And what it is, you'll have your Tesla app on your phone. You call up the Robotaxi, and it comes to get you within 15 minutes. You get in, it takes you to where you're going, you get out, it's already paid for. 25 cents a mile. There's no driver. It's all electric. And you don't have to worry whether your car starts or not, or whether your car's going to break down on you or not, because it's not your car. You're not going to suffer the expenses and the aggravations of car ownership. I mean, it's like a money hole. Whatever money you have is going into your car if you want it to keep running. And it's as simple as that. Insurance, everything else. I mean, it's just like, when you add up the cost of a car, it's crazy. It's nuts. That's going away. Robotaxi, I thought that they might have had it ready to ramping it up by now, but that full self-driving. And I knew it was going to take some time because you look at the millions of cars that are on the road, and every car has a different person driving, and every person is different. Every person will get, if one person will be patient, the other one will just blow their mind, they'll blow their top off with road rage and shit. Those days are numbered. Thank God, I hope. And the sooner the better. Anyway, I don't want to drag this out anymore. I was just hoping that we'd see an airplane on final, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I hope you're all doing great. Have a great day. It's below freezing here still, and I think that we'd go back on another heat wave next week. One week it's below freezing, the next week it's like 70 degrees, 70, 75 degrees. Um, what a mess. I'm the ultimate pessimist. You listen to Elon Musk, he's optimistic about the future. I guess, well, he's got a vision like nobody else, I think. Steve Jobs is the closest, the person that comes the closest to having the same kind of vision. Uh, and boy, did Steve Jobs set, what he set up with his company, and Elon Musk is doing the same thing on a different scale, though. But Steve Jobs, what he set up with Apple was wealth, uh, electric wealth, electronic wealth. I mean, since I got this phone, I've been able to stay on top of my investments. Even though I had two significant dings, I've learned a lot, and because of this phone. Like, I don't have to go running to a computer and pull it up and start searching. All I do is turn on my phone, click on the app where my investments are. There they are, 24/7. Steve Jobs, I mean, well, what does he have now? Apple has somewhere between 1 billion and 2 billion phones distributed, something like that. Over 1 billion users, iPhone users. It's amazing. I like going back and watching that presentation of his in 2007 where he introduced the iPhone 1. It's an amazing change in development and in technology, what he accomplished there. And how does he get to that point? He's walking all over people. And don't think he was good to work for. All you have to do is talk to a bunch of people that worked for him, and they'll say he was a pain in the ass and a bit of a hole. Could he have accomplished what he did without being like that? I think so. Although, you got to be ruthless. And Elon Musk has been ruthless, too. I mean, when he finds a sector inside his company or a group inside his company that's not performing, and he can tell right away. Anybody that's in a business can tell right away who's working and who isn't. That's not that hard to figure out. He figures that out. He knows you're not working. You're gone. He'll just let you go. Go find another way. I mean, this is not for you. That's basically where he comes from. Steve Jobs, he fired people in the elevator. If you encountered him on the elevator, if the elevator door opens and Steve Jobs is there, you turn and walk the other way. You want to keep your job for another day or two. He must. Oh my God, that Ashton Kutcher role of Steve Jobs that was in the movie Steve Jobs, I guess. I forget the name the movie was called, but Ashton Kutcher did a great job of being Steve Jobs. Get the play on words. Peace, y'all. Have a great day.